Yep, just don't want your germs. I don't want to, you know, inhale your exhale. I can't see, my eyes hurt. Ugh. I don't want to talk to no one. Alright, so for the freckles, I'm gonna be following this one girl. She did henna freckles, and like I really like her placement. It just looks really natural. It's Freya and Ray on YouTube. So I'm gonna follow hers, and all the comments are telling her to dump her boyfriend. I don't know what that's about, but anyways. By the way, if you're ever gonna like purchase henna, I highly recommend getting it from like Etsy, because there's a lot of like small businesses where people like make henna. Like by make I mean like they extract it from the plant and make it into the paste, and they like fill it in the cones. And if you find them on social media, you can see that it's like them making it by hand and stuff, and it's just a good way to support small businesses. Plus their henna is always really good quality. Okay, this is like a makeup mirror. It's like the one where it's magnified, you can see yourself. I took this from my grandma's house after she died, because she used to wear makeup, I think, but it's making me dizzy. See, this is like, henna freckles is one of those things that I've been meaning to do during quarantine, but I never got around to. I just did the first dot because, I don't know, it's just something that I was like, oh, I have time, but I gotta do it, because once things go back to normal and I go back to work, I go back to school, I'm gonna be insecure and I can't do things like this. You know what I mean? Like, I wish it wasn't like that. Okay, that one's kind of smeared, but we're just gonna go with it. Make it a little bigger. Did it go on? I can't see. My eyes hurt. Ugh. How do people do this? Well, I guess maybe they can see. Maybe I should have put contacts on. Like at the beginning of quarantine, which was literally over a year ago, which is crazy, but at the beginning, I dyed my hair pink. And it was the first time I had ever dyed my hair, or at least a large portion of my hair. But the main reason why I did it is because a lot of the jobs, like when you're working in food service, retail, they don't allow you to have dyed hair. So that was something that I always could never do. And then I also wasn't allowed to have painted nails because of food service. You can't have painted nails, or at least you shouldn't have. I know some places they let it slide, but I really don't think you should be allowed to. At the beginning of quarantine, because I wasn't working because I got laid off from both of my jobs, I painted my nails and did like nail designs and everything, which I later realized is not my thing. I don't like it and I'm not good at it, but it was something that I like finally got to actually try and do just because I could, since I didn't have to go to work. And you know, there's like those little things. And I've been thinking about like pulling like an all-nighter, because like when else am I gonna get that opportunity? Like never, right? But you know, things might go back to normal pretty soon. I don't really know what's going on. I know my school, we're not opening until fall semester, so this summer is still gonna be online, which is cool, to be honest. Like, I think that's the way it should be. I know some schools have already gone back in person, and of course, I know it depends where you live, but where I live, I feel like we should not be in person quite yet. I know high schools are in person, and that's ridiculous. If I was, first of all, if I was in high school, there's no way I would go. I would like beg my parents not to make me go to school in person, because I just like, I can literally imagine, like I could name names of people I went to high school with that I know would be like, if you wear a mask, like you're not cool, that's so lame. Do you know what I mean? And like, I feel like I would have just got picked on, and like my sister probably would not have worn a mask because her friends would be like, it's not cool. And then I would get really mad at her, and then we would get into a fight, and it would just be a whole thing. And like, don't even get me started about middle schools. Like, you know you're gonna send your kid to school and they're gonna come home wearing a different mask. Like, it's like, you know, when they say like to kids like, hey, don't share your school lunches because your classmate, like they might have food allergies, but then kids will share food anyways and like trade food and like do all kinds of stuff. It's like kind of the same thing. And it's like, we know you can function online, just do online for now. It's just so much safer. And I get it, people want to go back in person, but is it worth safety? I don't know. And I know like administration, like they, or at least the ones that want to be vaccinated are vaccinated, because they're, you know, essential workers. But what about the kids, you know, like especially middle schoolers? Like they can't get the vaccine because they're under 16. And yeah, the administration, like the adults are protected, but what about the kids? I mean, some kids are immunocompromised, and I'm sure those ones have the option of not going back to school, but like, what about kids that, you know, they're perfectly healthy, but maybe they have an elderly neighbor, or they live with their grandparents. I mean, lots of people live with their grandparents. And what if they become a carrier, you know, and the vaccine isn't 100% effective? And even if you're vaccinated, doesn't mean that you can't be a carrier for it. Of course, I want things to be normal in terms of, you know, the cases are lower and hospitals aren't being overfilled, but I don't know if we can do that if we rush to turn back to normalcy so fast. It's kind of weird though, because like there are so many times where I want things to go back to normal because I want to go like back to school, back to work, which is crazy. I never thought I would say that, but there's a part of me that like just feels really stuck. And I feel like I kind of went backwards in life, if that makes sense. Like prior to COVID, like I was, you know, working like full time. I was working like 50 to 60 hours a week. I was making good money, even though I didn't really realize it. And I wasn't spending a lot of money. So like, well, actually that's not true. I spent a lot of money on food, but you know, I was working full time. I was driving a lot because of, you know, work, and then also because of other reasons. And I would like drive the freeway. Like my aunt, I have to like drive the freeway for like an hour and a half to get to her place, and I would do that as like somewhat of a regular thing. And now it's like if I want to go to the library down the street, like my dad's gonna drive me because he's afraid that I can't drive myself. And it's just like those weird little things that's like, oh, when things go back to normal, like will things go back to the way they were before, or will they not? I mean, like for me, they definitely won't go back. They can't entirely go back to the same because my life has just been so different. Like we've had family members that passed, and I've lost some friends. Some of them just like naturally, you know, you grow apart, and then like, you know, some of like my coworkers, they've moved on, they moved away, so I won't see them back even when we go back to work. They won't be there, which is fine. I mean, they're doing their own thing, but also I have like some friendships that I ended just because during quarantine, and like just once I got laid off, I had like time to think and reflect, and then I was like, do I really want to be friends with this person? And that happened. And then some friendships ended just because of disagreements regarding COVID, which is crazy. I never would have expected that to happen, but you know, you get into arguments and you don't understand, you know, one another's perspective, and friendships end, and things are just, they're not going to be the same. And I went back to school after taking, I don't know, 3 years off or something like that. I went back to college, so that's a major difference, is that I'm in school. I never thought I was going to do that until the pandemic hit, and then I was just sitting at home and I was like, I need to do something before I lose my mind. It's like those little things. It's just really strange to think about. And even though now there are moments where I'm like, yeah, I want things to go back to normal. I want to like, you know, go study at a cafe. But then it's like, when I actually am able to do those things, will I do them? Because sometimes you just want what you don't have. And I find myself romanticizing the strangest things that I don't even really enjoy. But I'm like, you know, like, does that make sense? Like, I keep romanticizing going through the drive-thru, and it's like, before COVID, I never went through the drive-thru because drive-thrus just freak me out. It's just like, there's so much room for error. And now I'm just like romanticizing like doing the drive-thru challenge, where you like, you know, order what the person in front of you ordered, that kind of stuff. And it's like, what on earth? Like, no, I don't want to do that. But I keep romanticizing it just because I can't do that. Plus, I know things are going to be so crazy when everything reopens that I'm just going to hide at home for a bit. Like, I don't even want to go to like the grocery store because I feel like people are just going to do things, you know? And don't even get me started about traveling. People are going to go crazy, and I certainly will not be part of that because of COVID, and not because of COVID too, because even say like COVID was like truly gone, which like it's not, right? But say it was, like say we magically, it just completely went away. I still wouldn't like go out and about because like I don't want to get the flu. I don't want to get a cold. I straight up just don't want your germs. I don't want to, you know, inhale your exhale. And I don't want to talk to no one. But it's like this time in quarantine has been kind of like a break for me to avoid some of my problems. And now it's like, oh, I gotta go face them again. Do I have a mustache? I feel horrible. Like, okay, I just got the second shot for the vaccine, so I am having some side effects, but I'm the type of person where if I feel physically ill, I'll start feeling very hopeless emotionally. I don't know why those are tied together, but they just are. And for me, it's like, I just feel like I'm really stuck and I'm not progressing at all, you know? Like, I'm not doing anything working towards my goals, which isn't true because, like, you know, I'm in school, I'm working towards a degree, but at the same time, I'm like, what am I going to do with that degree? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, and sometimes I feel like this is how things are going to be always. Like, I'm always going to live here with my parents, and, you know, I'm always going to have, like, the same old boring jobs. And but at the same time, it's like, why am I tying my value based on if I'm, you know, being productive or doing things for a better future? Because at the end of the day, existing is enough. And normally, and then with the pandemic, even more things are out of your control, right? So I'm trying to tell myself, like, just chill out, relax for now, because you're not going to be able to have this luxury later on. And that's the other thing, like, for me to be able to have free time during the pandemic in itself is such a privilege, because so many people have such reverse experiences. I know so many people are saying, like, you know, like, there's memes and like tweets about, oh, like, look what I did during the pandemic, I finally learned how to crochet or whatever. Or people are like, oh, I'm so bored in the pandemic, like, I miss hanging out with my friends. But then it's like, at the same time, people are, you know, seeing people every day. You know, nurses, they're seeing hundreds of people every day, and people are dying. And it's like, it's almost like I never want to say, like, oh, I'm having a rough time during the pandemic, you know, I'm feeling not so good. I don't want to say that, because people are having it truly worse. And when I say worse, like, here's the thing, everyone's feelings and emotions are valid, and your pain is valid regardless if somebody is in more pain or not. But at the same time, it's like, really, I don't know, I just feel wrong. It just feels like very, I don't even know how to explain it. It just feels like wrong to complain. It's like one of those, like, can't complain situations. I say that as I just complained. I think one of the things that I'm really afraid of, though, is, like, a lot of the negative emotions that I experienced pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, pre-quarantine, those emotions I haven't experienced during quarantine, or at least not at the same level, just because it involves being around other people, and I'm scared that when they come back, I'm just gonna, like, lose it, which probably is gonna happen. I mean, I'll probably lose it, but then I'll probably be like, oh yeah, whatever, this is normal, and that isn't even happening yet, so maybe I shouldn't even be thinking about it. But oh my god, do you know what's something that's been happening to me? Not, well, I guess this always happened, but it's so, because I have more time, I can choose for it to be more intense now, which is watching TV shows or movies purely just from YouTube clips. Would it be bad if I put it on my pimple? No, right? Okay, I'm gonna do it. Like, not watching the TV shows or the movie, but just watching clips of it on YouTube and then kind of formulating what happened. Oh shit, I smeared a bit. That's alright. Freckles aren't even. Like, House MD, I can tell you what happened in the entire show, and I've never even seen a full episode. I've only seen clips on YouTube, and some of them are, like, official clips posted by whoever whatever the company or whatever that makes the show, that owns the rights to the show. And then the other ones are just clips that I, like, searched up. And I was, like, thinking about watching the show, but it doesn't have, they don't have the show on, like, any streaming service that I have, or that I have, you know, someone's account too, so I can't watch it. I think Prime has it, but you still have to, like, pay for it, and I don't even have Prime, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But I honestly, like, I kind of know what happens. There's, like, certain things that I know happen because I read the comments of the clips, and then I intentionally try to avoid, you know, seeing that episode or seeing that season, because it's so heartbreaking. Because I do get attached to characters, and I also, like, make up storylines for them that don't exist. I guess that's what fanfic is. But yeah, and, like, I don't even know how that showed up on my feed. Oh wait, no, actually I do know why. It's because I watched, like, a Mike, what is his name? Dr. Mike on YouTube, and he made a video reacting, because he reacts to, like, different medical shows. He reacted to House MD. And after that, I got, like, one recommendation for, like, a clip, and I was like, oh, there's a clickbaity caption. It was, like, something about, like, you know, some weird, really absurd medical condition that was like a mystery. So of course I clicked on it because, you know, I'm a sucker for mystery. And then, oh my god, you can see the toilet paper in the reflection the whole time. That's kind of embarrassing. And I like have this on my hamper, the tripod. But anyways, also Dr. Mike, can we talk about the fact that he was such a poster boy for social distancing and COVID safety, and then he went on a boat with like, what was it, like 10 Instagram models or something like that with his friends in like Miami, and he lives in like New York, like, and then he made his apology on his second channel, which doesn't have nearly as many followers as his main channel, so clearly he was like trying to hide the fact that it even happened. Like, dude, what was that about? I can't watch him ever since then. Like, I used to really enjoy Dr. Mike. I thought his videos were really entertaining, and I love watching his reaction to medical shows, especially because when I was in high school, I did this medical program, and we actually watched like Grey's Anatomy and stuff, and we would talk about how inaccurate it was. So it was just like cool to see like an actual professional also talk about it. But now I can't watch him because he's just so shady to me now. Like, what is happening? I don't understand it. But he's also not on the level where he necessarily got canceled for it, you know? I don't even think people knew about it, that's the thing. I didn't even know about it, but I think D'Angelo Wallace talked about it. I'm not sure if it was him or someone else. But once that happened, I was like, oh, can't watch him anymore. That's really a bummer. I was really rooting for him, but what was I talking about? Oh yeah, House MD. So that's how I wound up on the House MD world, and that show is definitely medically inaccurate, and the House especially does lots of illegal things, but the characters in it are just fabulous, and I don't like that. Spoiler alert, House and Cuddy don't end up together, but I still like the ending because it was still, I don't know, I still liked it. And then I have like a major crush on Cuddy. Like, what on earth? Like, it's like a person, it's not even like a it's not just like a looks thing, because I don't have a crush on the actress. It's like the character itself. Does that make sense? And then the actor, I think, what's his name? Hugh Laurie, I think. The guy that plays House, he's so talented, and I say that partly because his American accent is just so good. Because I've heard other people do American accents, like actors, and it's horrible. Like, it's really kind of strange, but his is so like natural, and I don't even know like how he does that. He's super talented, and it's really weird seeing Jennifer Morrison play such a different character from Emma from Once Upon a Time, because that's where like I first saw her, so that's what I associate with her. It's like super weird to see her play like a different person. This is once again like you click on one video and then it's all you ever get recommended, which is Adam Sandler movies. What was it called? It's the one with Jennifer Aniston. I think he's made a couple movies with Jennifer Aniston, but it's the one where they go to Hawaii and like Bailey Madison is like one of the kids. Once again, did not watch the movie, just watched a bunch of clips on YouTube, and I pretty much know what happened, and I confirmed it by reading a synopsis. Seems like a good movie. I think the concept is good. I mean, obviously I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't really know. I never really liked Adam Sandler movies, to be honest. Like, there's something about him that doesn't sit well with me. Yeah, he just makes me uncomfortable for some reason. I feel like he's always in movies with like a really like beautiful actress, which is like totally fine, but it's the fact that he usually produces the movies too, and it's like he gets to choose. I don't know. I don't want to be rude too, but oh snap, that's not good. Oh no, my hands are shaking. Okay, I'm just gonna stop at this level because I'm just afraid now. But I feel like my placement is really bizarre. But yeah, I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'll probably peel it off. Like, you're supposed to let it flake off on its own, but I don't want to get it all over my bed. And since it's on my face, I'm gonna end up scratching it off anyways in my sleep. So I'll let it dry, peel it off, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, I'll catch you guys in a little bit. I can't put my glasses back on. It's fine. All right, so it's been about like 15-ish hours. Okay, here's the thing. I have like acne scars, and I have acne, and I don't know what they're called, but like little bumps on my face, and then I have blackheads, and I feel like it's all kind of blending in with the henna freckles, you know what I mean? Like, you can see like, okay, this is a scab from like me popping a pimple, and like that's a pimple. And then like I have like little bumps in my forehead, and then my nose has like a lot of blackheads, and I feel like it's all just kind of blending in. The other issue I think is that I didn't leave it on long enough because I was going to bed and I didn't want all the, you know, flakes to get all over my bed, so I peeled it off once it dried. I think what I'm gonna do is later tonight I'm gonna go back in, especially because the nose, I feel like this area did okay like with the colors, but it's more like the cheek area that doesn't have quite as much, and like the forehead, like I don't even know what happened to the ones I put on my forehead because I don't see them anymore. I just see acne, and here's one of like the chin ones that I did. But I think I'm gonna do more and then like actually leave it on properly and let it come off on its own, and then we can see the results. Alright, this is going to be the final update. I wanted to show you the end result. So this is after 2 rounds, and it's been almost 24 hours since that second round that I showed you guys. But this is the final results of how it turned out. And yeah, thanks for watching.